Hello, welcome back to another episode of Just a Bit Outside. I'm your host Steven, and yes, it's just me today. The co-host Ryan, he's out sick, so it's just gonna be me. So I'm gonna talk a lot of football about what I saw in week one. We're gonna go over a little recap, go over our bets, and then yeah, we're gonna have some fun. So thanks for listening, and thanks to all the subscribers also. I think we have 39 subscribers right now, so that's pretty cool. Appreciate the support. Hope to get more. Hope to build this, but a good start. So if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit like, and stay with us. We're going to be building the Instagram and the podcast apps and everything else. So we're getting there. So, anyways, we went 2-3 on our bets. We went down 0.25 units, so we are pretty much even money. So if you bet $100 on all of our bets, you lost about $25. That's not too bad. So for week one, we'll take it. Week one's crazy. We hit a big one last night, though. Seahawks, baby, plus 230, and they took down Russell Wilson and the Broncos. Hence the jersey right now you guys are seeing. Yeah, that's right. We got to support them. You know why? Because they're in first place. The Seahawks are first place in the NFC West, so that's pretty exciting. I'm sure most of you watched that game last night. There is some. I don't understand how they're going to get through the season in Denver. That coach over there, you can tell he's a rookie coach. The time management at the end of the game, it made zero sense to me. I was loving every second of it, but they decided to put the game in the leg of their kicker for I think the second longest field goal in NFL history. Instead of trying to let Russell Wilson get 5 yards, the guy they paid, I don't know what, $250 million, they thought that was the better idea. They said they got to the spot, the coach after the game said they got to the spot they wanted for the field goal kick. Who wants a 64-yard field goal? I don't even understand it. So that made no sense to me. I love it. We'll take it. Who knows if they would have got the 5 yards anyways, but that was just an interesting decision to me. So as Seahawks fans, let's get excited because we're 1-0. I hate to kind of be the bearer of bad news, but we scored 0 points in the second half. So we got some work to do. We got a little lucky. Is it just me also, or does crazy things happen all the time on prime time in Seattle? Let me give you this stat that you may not have heard. Denver fumbled twice from the 1 yard line last night. That's the first time that's happened since 1987. Think about that for a second. That's just wild to me. So the whole game was crazy. We played well in the first half. Geno Smith looked really good. He looked comfortable in the pocket to me, and it was just really impressive overall. We lost Jamal Adams, which looks like for a very long time. But other than that, it was a good game for us. So we'll see if we can bounce back and repeat that performance, the first half performance. So other than that, you probably don't want to hear about the Seahawks too much, but that was an awesome game, awesome win, first place, Seattle Seahawks. I don't know if also let's go to the next game. Steelers Bengals. And again, I'm not going to talk about every game, but I want to go over some of these. That Steelers Bengals game was absolutely wild. I mean, there was missed kicks everywhere. I thought it was going to end in a tie. And there's turnovers. It was sloppy. It was exciting. It was just crazy. I don't know if you remember that stat I gave you also. 4-18 were the Super Bowl losers in week one the next year against the spread. Make that 4-19 because the Bengals didn't just not cover the spread as a favorite. They didn't even win the game at home. So they had 5 turnovers. So that's another thing. They had 5 turnovers, and the Steelers only had 23 points. And that was a 5-quarter game, by the way. So as Steeler fans, be excited for the win, but that was brutal offensively. It was ugly. And now they lost TJ Watt to maybe a slightly torn pec, it looks like. That's not good. So it was a good win, but it came at a cost for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, anyways, Eagles Lions. I don't know if anyone watched that. There was no defense. I mean, there was just no defense. The Eagles offense looks legit. Jalen Hurts ran the ball well himself, but he did only complete 18 passes, and 10 of them were to AJ Brown. So I think he's going to have to figure out how to spread the ball around a little bit. He still wasn't very accurate all game long, but his legs did help him, and he put up, I think, over 300 yards total. So the Lions do what they always do. They fall down early. They come back. They almost win. They lost by 3, 38-35. It's the same Lions. They're going to have to find a way to get over that hump, and they just didn't do it in week one. So that was a crazy game. just kind of overall, I'm gonna have a little venting session here about coaches in a second, but overall, there's also a few bad offenses in this league, and I thought it before the season, and they did nothing to change my mind. I mean, if you look at the New England Patriots, holy smokes, they can't move the ball, and I think Miami's defense is pretty good this year, but they have no athleticism, no weapons. They just look like they don't know what they're doing, and that was the same for during the preseason too. They just did not look good, did not look in sync, and they don't have the outside weapons, and I think they lost another running back, Ty Montgomery, to injury. They just it could be a long season. We talked about this in our preview video that I don't think they have it this year. So they could be looking at a 4, 5, 6 win season, easy. So they lost pretty handily to the Dolphins in that game. So the other offense is the Dallas Cowboys. Anybody remember us talking about the Cowboys? The Cowboys, America's team. We picked the Eagles to win the division. The Cowboys may not make the playoffs. They looked atrocious. I mean, that was if you sat down, had dinner, and couldn't wait for that Sunday night game. I'm sorry, because that was just ugly. I had to stop watching. But even before Dak's injury, they weren't doing anything at all. CD Lamb was covered up, and their O line just could not block. I mean, he did not have much time. So unlike earlier in his career when Dak just had all the time in the world and it made him look really good, now we're actually seeing the deficiencies of Dak a little bit, and it's just hard to play behind a bad O line. But they struggled, and to be honest, I couldn't be happier because I hate the Cowboys. So that was pretty cool. But they're gonna be in for a long season with Dak out 1 to 2 months now, and Cooper Rush taking over. That's gonna be ugly. So, um, a couple teams that look good though. How about another prediction of ours? Not to toot our own horn, but we like the Vikings to win the division, and it's only week 1, so it's early. We know that, but they look good and they handled their business against Green Bay. Minnesota's offense looks like it's a little different now that it's not under Zimmer. They don't look as predictable. They look creative, and it was exciting to see. I don't know about you guys, but the Justin Jefferson. I mean, my goodness, is he good? I think he had 2 touchdowns. I think it was over 100 yards by a lot too. He just dominated. He's just unbelievable. But on the other end, is it time to panic in Green Bay yet? I mean, what does Aaron Rodgers say? Just relax. Is that his main quote? Because they always start out slow. I just don't think. Unfortunately, he doesn't have Devontae Adams or any receivers. He had a wide open rookie receiver, Christian Watson, early in that game that would have changed the whole thing, and he just dropped it. I mean, they have some problems at receiver, and unless they figure that out, it could be a little bit of a rough year. They still got weapons. I'm not saying they're going to fall off the earth, but they got a lot of work to do. So this is the year Minnesota can finally take over if they can continue to play decent defense and keep with that scheme they have right now because they're loaded everywhere. So they impressed me. Another team that was impressive was the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they put a beat down on the Cardinals. They scored almost half 100, and people were worried about the Chiefs offense. I actually thought they'd take a little step back too without Tyreek Hill. That didn't matter. I think some of that is also because the Arizona Cardinals are just horrendous. I really don't think they're going to be good this year at all. Their defense is lacking the playmakers they used to have, especially with the Honey Badger. And I just think offensively, they're not very good. They scored 21 points, but 2 of those were in the fourth quarter. 2 of those touchdowns when the game was out of hand, and they gave up 44. So all around, I think Arizona is just not going to be a good team this year. And you saw it in week 1. And yes, it's just 1 week, but let's just make all of our overreactions because that's a fun time. So the Chiefs and Vikings were 2 teams that really stuck out to me as playing well. There were some other teams, but those are 2 of them. Now on to the venting session. What were these coaches thinking? Like, I don't even understand it. I need to take a drink first because I just made me heated a little bit. You have the okay. First we already talked about the Broncos and what they did at the end of the game. That was brutal. But let me tell you something else. The Houston Texans. I doubt many people watched that game, but that game went into overtime and ended in a tie. Yeah. First of all, football games shouldn't end in a tie because that's too close to being like soccer, and I don't like soccer. Yeah, we don't like soccer here. So that ended in a tie. The Texans had 4th and 3 at midfield. Okay, stay with me. 4th and 3 at midfield with, I think it was 26 seconds left. Lovie Smith, instead of going for it, he punts. So when you punt, that means you're just saying, I'm good with a tie. Let's move on. But at this point, I thought in the NFL, you're playing to win instead of not to lose. How many chances are the Texans going to get to win this year? How many? It ain't going to be many. And that was one of them. And they blew it. They were worried about not getting 3 yards and then maybe giving up one pass and a field goal kick to Indianapolis. That's playing not to lose. I'm telling you, if I'm the owner of the Texans right now, I don't even know if I care what his contract is. Lovie Smith is gone because that is a terrible message that you don't think you can get 3 yards to try to win a game. You're not playing for a Super Bowl this year. You're the Houston freaking Texans. You're not very good. Go play to win a game when you have a chance. So, anyways, I just couldn't believe it. I was just shell shocked on that one. But them, the Broncos, and then you have the Cowboys, who, listen, it didn't matter because their offense was so bad. But they were down 2 scores in the 4th quarter. And in the 4th quarter, like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 minutes left, something like that. And they punted on 4th, and it wasn't that many either. I just don't understand these coaches. Like, it doesn't matter if you lose by 16 or if you lose by 38, or it doesn't matter. They're all losses. So I just don't get some of the calls in the league. And speaking of calls, by the way, we went 2 and 3 on our bets. I didn't actually talk about them. One of the bets we won, or we lost, sorry, was Austin Eckler to score a touchdown. The Chargers, I believe, had 1st and goal from the 1, and they did 3 play action passes in a row. I mean, I just don't have any clue how Eckler didn't score that game. It's unlucky. It's a bad beat. It is what it is. You can't control if they give him the ball or not, but that was just wild to me. So, luckily we hit that Seahawks plus 230. That was pretty sweet. So, anyways, that's kind of a recap. Week 1 was wild. It was awesome. I mean, Sunday was just a lot of fun. And week 2 has some great games. And that actually starts on Thursday night. We have the Chargers and the Chiefs on Thursday night. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to be getting out another video here in a couple days. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to give our best bets out for week 2. We're going to get better as we learn teams and all that, have more stats to compile and things like that. So we're going to give out another video for best bets, go over some of the biggest games. But Thursday, I'm going to be doing an Instagram video, just a quick one, first one of the channel. Please go follow us on Instagram. It'll be a first one going over Thursday game, and we're going to have some bets, maybe some player props, maybe just a bet for the game. But it's Chargers Chiefs. It's one of the better games this year. 2 good Thursday night games in a row to start, which is surprising. So make sure to do that. Other than that, man, I could just talk football all day. I could have talked about the Seahawks game forever, but it was a lot of fun. We're in it now. We're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep these videos coming out. Please follow us on Twitter. On Twitter, I'm giving out picks all the time too. So if you follow us, before a Sunday night game, or if I have something that comes to mind, I'm going to tweet it out. So it doesn't hurt just to follow, get it. If you have questions about fantasy or betting or just anything about a team, shoot away on Twitter, and we can comment back or comment on this YouTube video. So thanks for listening, guys. First time doing just a 1-person video, so I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. We got more football, lots more football to come. So please hit like and subscribe. And again, thank you for everyone that has. It's awesome. That's cool that we have almost 40 subscribers already. So thanks a lot. And until next time, talk to you later.